Representing the city of Jacksonville, we have Cici Carter with Keller Williams First Coast.
I love history. I love being part of history. And so somebody who really wants to be like somebody who, your ideal client is somebody who loves history, they love walkable neighborhoods, they love being in a community that has some history and not, a new community where it's like, hey, so what happened here? Well, it used to be farmland and now it's completely different from living in, hey, down the street here, James Weldon Johnson wrote Lift Every Voice and Sing. Over here, this happened. This is the oldest school. This neighborhood was founded in 1860. I mean, it's a nice way to have conversations with other people who are as passionate about history as you are. So that's, I think, who your ideal person that you'd be marketing to.
You kind of have to be a bit of a romantic to really want to live in a historic home. Owning and living in a historic home is an expensive proposition. What they do offer, though, is an incredible, not only connection to history, but I would say just incomparable character.
So as realtors, we should advise our clients who desperately want to purchase this 100-year-old house in Springfield, for example. There is inherent risk in purchasing this older house. You'd be shocked how many out-of-state investors bought for cash. A lot of these buildings don't have insurance on them at all, and they've put renters inside. God forbid the place burned down with the renters in there. They have zero insurance, so it's good to do the search ahead of time so that you're not shocked when it goes under contract and the buyer's like, hey, that roof is 50 years old, hey, there's galvanized plumbing, hey, this electrical has cloth wire, like all of the things that you're like, what? You can get a heads up prior to even going through that headache. And even though it tilts a little bit, it's still solid. So when you're buying a 100-year-old house, 80-year-old house, they're settling in an 8-year-old house. So there's a lot of extra settling that happens with a house that's 100 years old. I sold one in San Marco that had started off as a single-family home, then they made it into a duplex maybe 60 years ago, then they made it back into a single-family home by the time I listed it. It was solid, but there was an upstairs porch that was kind of, it's like you look at it like this, like, is that straight or is it? But they had already had a structural inspection and they were able to show me evidence that, hey, the structural engineer said this is sound, and that helped us get to closing because I had that.
And I would say proactive, try to get ahead of things, and be fully transparent. And when you're working on the other side, remember that we're working together.
Well, I'm going to expand on what Thomas said about educating yourself, not just on pitfalls, but on the area. Even if there's no visible wood rot, if it's on a crawl space, and most of them are, they're gonna go underneath. Yes. And I guarantee you they will find evidence of prior termites.
Examples of termites that sort of drew a little channel on the side.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Just the beam is completely, fully intact. It's literally just cosmetic.
We have to educate our buyers on that too, so that they don't freak out when they see it.
The chances are good if you think you need $50,000 worth of work, it's probably worth $100,000. Sometimes the work has been done and the vendor who did the work didn't go back and do what they were supposed to do. So, I mean, it's helpful for us in advising our clients.
That's okay. I have 2 questions. How many were around?
It depends on the county too.
Okay.
But I know that with Duval County, it'll also show you the permit is still open.
Right.
You can't close if there's an open permit, an open building permit. So that's one thing that we can do to protect our customers. You have to have quotes from 3 different contractors to show that you shopped around. And the way that the program works is the after renovation appraisal has to be enough. If you think you're going to need $50,000 worth of renovation work and the property is $300,000, it needs to be able to appraise at $350,000. A lot of duplexes and quadruplexes in Springfield and San Marco, where maybe you'll have a VA buyer who says, hey, I want to live in one unit and rent out the others. It still has to go through the VA appraisal process, and the VA requires a clean WBO.
At the end of the day, y'all, it helps us get from contract to close. Right. What we've got to realize is that we are not against each other in this. So the more transparent we are up front, the easier it is to get the seller sold and the buyer bought.
And so I advise you to get this pre-listing inspection, but you're gonna need to fix the stuff you find, otherwise you're gonna have to put this on the disclosure.
Historic areas aren't areas for out-of-state fix and flippers or even in-town new fix and flippers who saw HGTV and thought that they could do what they see there, and it's not for everyone.
If this is an area that you want to sell in, you need to be the resource for home inspectors who know how to inspect historic homes. You need to be a resource for contractors who understand what to do and what never to do in renovating a historic home. You need to be that guy. Like, you're the resource for them. Hey, who do I call for this? Be that. Make sure that you make those connections. For my listing video in San Marco, I actually had the drone shot of this is us coming down the street, you know, historic, and here are all the shops. Oh, there's the movie theaters. And that really gets people excited about, oh, I need to see this. I would definitely preview completely redone Instagrammable listings in those areas in Avondale, Springfield, Riverside, San Marco. Create content and talk about that area as you walk through the house. And that will let people know, look, I have my finger on the pulse of what's going on in this historical area, and isn't this house gorgeous? You're selling a neighborhood.
Yes.
You're selling a vibe.
Yep.
Show them the vibe.
Yep.